welcome to episode 7 of IT on Top. Today or this evening we're at my place again. Hello Nick, welcome.
Hi. Happy to be here again.
So today will be kind of a special episode as we have no idea what we will be talking about.
Yeah, so last episode we had Steve Dalby on the episode from M365 Distilled. If you're interested in anything related to disaster recovery, go listen to the last episode. We had a really nice conversation with him about it. And afterwards, we stayed a little bit over at his place because, if somebody has experience in podcasting, we kind of want to know. So we picked his brain a little, had some really good quesadillas. Thank you, Steve.
Yeah, indeed. It was a cool dinner.
Peter had some whiskey. Yeah, he cheated on the beers, but we're going to make up for it this episode. I couldn't because I was driving, but I got some tasters home. Was really good.
But basically, Steve asked us the question, what do we want to get out of this podcast?
Yes.
What is the ultimate goal? And well, both me and Nick, we don't really have a goal, or not specifically like we want to reach a big audience or we want to make a big thing out of this. We mainly do this because it is fun.
Yeah.
And because we both are very passionate about IT and we have both our own perspectives, it usually gives an interesting conversation.
So, Steve said, focus on the personalities. So that's what we're doing today. Hey, yippee.
We're probably overcorrecting ourselves now, but hey, let's see. So because we will have no specific topics for the audience today, we will give you something else in return, and it is more beers.
Exactly. So we thought about personality, and then we came to the conclusion the personality that we have is beers. So as I said last episode, I got like a box from my brother for Christmas. He had some doubles in there, but he also had some single beers in there. So today we will tackling those. So we have 3 beers lined up. And I think we should just start with the first one.
Start with one. Do you want to start with the one with the worst rating out of those 3 and then work our way up, or do you want to do the other way around and take the best one while our taste systems are still fresh and sober?
I just wanna.
Good question.
That is a really good question.
I would go for option 2.
Let's go with the best one then.
That is the Holy IPA.
Holy IPA. We're in English now. So Holy IPA, Peter. And now I need to cheat. So it's from brewery Nova Bira, which is new beer maybe. Yeah, sounds like that.
Loosely translated.
It's inspired by the West Coast style. It should have tastes of citrus and Bergamo, but I don't know what Bergamo would be.
Bergamo is a city in in Italy, and our football club recently crushed them. It was a cool evening, unrelated to IT.
So it's tasting like Bergamo tears then?
Tasting like victory.
So very mouthy, harsh like hop, and a nice feel in the mouth. And pretty fresh, apparently. The Peter definitely divided very, very well. I barely have any beer. Cheers.
Cheers, man. You can have a bit more of the next beer then.
I see. So the best one is all for him.
That's a quite strong taste. A bit fruity. Is that correct? Did it state fruity? Citrusy. Yeah. It might
good.
be a good beer for drinking on a hot summer day when you're in the bar in the sun.
The beers are not specifically cold because they just come out of the garage. They have not been in the fridge but if it would be colder, for a hot summer day, definitely sip it on the terrace.
Okay.
I can see it. But so
Yeah, maybe we should include some IT in this conversation. Huh?
Beer check.
So maybe I'll start with why I didn't have any topics for this month. I told you last episode that I recently migrated phones. I went with the Pixel phone with the Graphene OS, the very secure, a very privacy-minded operating system for your Android phone.
Yes.
And with doing that, I also I'm also trying to not use any Google-related product, and I also ditched myself off social media, resulting in I don't know anything about the world anymore. I don't know what's going on, and it's pretty embarrassing actually. Even last week on Friday, I was in the office with a colleague, and she started talking about stuff that happened in Belgium, and I didn't know anything about it. I was not aware of anything, and even globally, there were some pretty big events happening.
Yeah, there's
Trump said some stuff, and some stuff was done, and
Russia, these kind of things.
yeah, and I was completely unaware, and actually that frightens me a bit because I was always up to speed, up to date to everything that was happening in the security world, and now I'm not sure what is happening.
But if we would link this to a technology standpoint, like, okay, now we have our phone in our pocket with internet there at the ready. We have social media that goes basically a global scale. So if somebody lets go of a fart across the world and puts it on social media, we will know. But 20 years ago,
that was not the case.
This was not the case.
No, indeed.
So it's kind of funny if you think about it, that you willingly now secure being went back 20 years and went
I went back in the days.
Oh my God, I feel so weird and I feel disconnected. Even though people are still around you, you just don't know the latest news anymore. Or you need to turn on the TV, which people also don't do anymore.
But I don't have cable television anymore.
Exactly.
It's all just streaming services. Makes me think maybe I want to ditch those too. But yeah, no, it all comes now from mouth to mouth talking. And well, it's pretty difficult.
So does this mean you need to socialize more to stay up to date?
Yes. But I have no problem socializing, so that's okay for me. But I don't. Again, for my cybersecurity news, I don't have anyone to talk to that is up to date with everything. Usually, I was the dude in my environment.
Yes, definitely for me. So
maybe also not so good for the company, huh?
I don't know. I cannot speak about that. I've seen a lot of security changes in the last weeks that were a nuisance, to say the least. But apparently we're more secure now. But we got kind of nicked in our
nicked.
Wow. In our way of working, let's say, like all of a sudden we could not do certain things we could do. In the past.
Indeed, but from my in my defense, those were needed changes, and we did not want to take away all your permissions, but we just were not aware that your rightful permissions were not set up correctly.
Legacy.
Yeah, indeed, it is legacy. That is maybe part of our continuous improvement episode. Sometimes you need to revisit everything and see is everything still okay. And well, we had a pretty good reality check there. It was not.
Yeah, had the same thing even come up today. So we are in the process of migrating still, because I think as a company we're quite late. From on-premise exchange to online exchange. And we noticed that there was a lot of just administrative gaps, like who's owning a mailbox, what is the mailbox for. And one of the things that I was okay, now we have to do all this extra work in this migration to figure out what is what. So we need a process for even new mailboxes created, that we have that data somewhere on file.
Exactly.
So we know next time we need to do a change, or the change needs to happen on that mailbox. We know why this mailbox exists, who owns this mailbox. So
the whole governance around it, really.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think um, fixing the situation as is now, a point in time, is a good reaction, but you very much need that process, and for everyone to follow the process, and if something deviates from the process, that you are aware of it and you can hunt it
Exactly.
immediately. That's the difficult part. I think with the service accounts, the same thing is happening. I mean, anyone could request a service account. It was in use for something, but we did not really know what. And if you then, after 5 years of maintaining the whole environment, want to do a check, which account is used for what, from where, using what protocols and whatnot, it's a big pile of shit you need to go through.
Yeah, but it's a part of IT maturity.
Yeah.
So to kind of point it out or state it a little bit better, you have a couple stages in IT maturity. You always start out with like what is it? Asset-based. That was the word. Asset-based thing. So you just have your computers, you have a server, you have and that's just it. You don't have a lot of more documentation.
Mm-hmm.
And then processes come in place, and then you become a process-based. Then you become an operational-based. So then it's the operational processes and this kind of stuff. And then you evolve and you become a policy-based. So then you go into governance and this kind of stuff. And then you're there. And then there are some levels above, but I have never been in a company that reached those kind of levels, so I will not be able to tell you.
But I would be happy already if we can get to that policy-based state.
I think that's where we're fighting for now, but I also think that we might have where you sometimes like over-evaluate where you're at. That you think you're further along, but you're actually not.
Mm-hmm.
So
then
you kind of get surprised when you start doing this. So that's an important part in maturity models to remember. Like, always assess accordingly and don't over-assess, or don't
overvalue.
Overvalue yourself.
Yeah.
And don't over-assess as well.
In security, we have the same. We call it the pyramid of pain. The security maturity. Like the first layer, the foundation, is if you want to block something or find malicious things in your environment, you can look at IP addresses, hashes of files, and block accordingly. But those are very stupid things to block on, because it's very easy to change the hash of a file or the IP address of where your malware is coming from. So then you get more into a heuristic-based view of what the malware is doing. Heuristic scanning of the file. You look at the imports of the file to see if you can find some dangerous imports. And the higher you go up to scale in this pyramid of pain, we call it, is I think the tip of the iceberg where you want to go to is TTPs, the techniques, tactics and procedures of attackers. If you're able to know what kind of procedures that your attackers might be using, then you can hunt for those. And once you get there, then it's really hard for an attacker to break in and ultimately deploy ransomware.
So it's more of a detect and respond kind of structure.
Indeed. But
interesting.
I think it was the first thing I learned when I started at Linias. I think my boss, he tasked me with, the incident response, obviously, and he also wanted me to do threat hunting. So I really took a deep dive into what is threat hunting, because before I joined the company, I was always being the attacker for an environment. I never defended. I always tried to break in. So now I had to learn what is threat hunting, and then I got the whole security maturity pyramid thingy figured out, and I was like, this is actually very cool, because I know from my attacker point of view, if I change a variable in my malware and I rebuild it and push it to the endpoint, the antivirus product will probably not see it. But nowadays we have the EDR, and they do the heuristic scanning. They still see, you're still importing dangerous libraries. We think it is going to be malware. You're touching this and these files from the file system. So it's already more difficult to work around it. But the real pain is in when you really know the tactics of an adversary, how they infiltrate in the company. And well, if you're able to detect that, you need to, as an attacker, you need to change your behavior then. And that's way more difficult.
Yeah. How do you feel that, because now it makes me think about something you said last episode, like the hacker mindset is something you do you feel like you are being, how does it feel that you are now, let's say, more of a purple team guy, so doing defending and attacking in a way? Do you feel like it affected your hacker mindset, or did it enlarge it? Did it broaden your perspective on it?
I think it broadens my perspective, because before I was always just looking for ways to break in, on how to break in, and now I'm way more focused on, okay, how do normal people log in? What's the normal behavior, and what do normal users do to circumvent some issues, or maybe what are the usual backdoors that an IT operating system or an IT infrastructure team is implementing to safeguard the infrastructure. There are always ways around the defenses that you set up, and I think by being more close with you guys, with the infra team, and being on the blue side, you're much more aware of it. And in the perspective of an attacker, I will always go looking for those, or like wiki pages. Before I started at the company, I hated reading documentation on companies to find juicy information. I would much more likely just start brute forcing the login page and start looking for easy to guess credentials.
Yeah.
Now I would just look for the word password in the search field of their internal wiki, and 9 out of 10 you find some juicy credentials.
Okay. Yeah.
So yeah, that broadens the hacker mindset a bit. And I think that is also what would make me a very valuable red teamer at this point, because I have the insights of how an internal IT team operates. And if you put that against someone who just graduates from school, did the cybersecurity course, and is now learning everything about pen testing, doing the Nmap port scan, finding out what services are running, and trying to find CVEs in services that are running, or trying to exploit a web application to get that initial foothold. I will also still do that, but there is a more human side to this whole story.
Isn't that what hacking is more about? It's not as much about, okay, it is about the technicality of it all, but most of the things that you try to misuse, or where you try to get a hold in, are human errors. Is a coding bug, or is a wrong configured something. It's someone that coded something incorrectly. It's always something human. So if you understand how these things, how these people actually work behind it, and not in a sense of like I'm inside of your mind kind of thing, but I know in general how an IT operation works, you have this extra insight, because it's not just about, oh, I can run this kind of things. No, I know that a company works a certain way, and there are certain limitations, or certain how do you say it? Some certain there's a certain time it takes to get something fixed. So like if this happens, I can get that, or maybe understaffed people, they make more mistakes. So that if you have a company where the pressure is high, they will probably make more mistakes. So it's
indeed,
it's the psychological thing about it. And then you can, and then that's the thing, when you get to hacking in the psychological part, most people think about social engineering, but it's not only that. The psychological part is also thinking about how would this, if I was this company, how would I operate and where would my weaknesses be?
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Yeah. I mean, without compromising information of the company too much, it's like when we put up certain defenses in our whole infrastructure setup and the way that people authenticate to our systems and get access to our systems. We have one preferred way that everyone does it, but we all know that there are anomalies. We have to deviate from the normal sometimes. And it's very important in the hacker mindset to find those anomalies and abuse them, because that's where the fun starts.
And the shadow IT.
And the shadow IT. Oh, yeah, indeed.
Because if you have shadow IT, and like in current landscape with all the SaaS solutions out there, like it's very easy to create shadow IT because you only need one happy sales rep, and there are plenty that like the guy from finance or whoever needs a certain SaaS solution. He gets approached by someone that has an interesting solution. Mm-hmm. And let's be honest, SaaS is really easy right now. It's just click, 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 and you can set it up. If you have a nice sales rep, you get the budget approved by, and IT doesn't even come into the picture. And then you need local accounts. And what will people do? I'm not going to put in the same password or a different password. I'll take the same one. And then that SaaS application gets hacked. They know the passwords and they can get into other things like email. And so that's exactly also where it goes. So it's, but yeah, you only know that shadow IT is a thing when you actually have worked in a company that has shadow IT and you know how fast it goes.
Very fast. I think it helps also if you work in an internal company and not as a consultant, because internally you see a lot more of that shadow IT and you really see it living. Meanwhile, as a consultant, most of the times you would not be fully aware of it or everything of it.
Depends how you are placed as a consultant, I feel like. If you're just a project based consultant, you will just focus on your own project, make sure you deliver, and then move on. If you're there as like
from an operational
perspective, you're placed there as an FTE, you will be more aware of what lives inside of the company. And I also think that that's maybe another side of IT. Like I think those kind of people that get placed like that have less affinity with the consultancy firm they are placed with, and more affinity with the company they are placed in.
Oh yeah. I know a few people like this, and
we have some in our company.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, those people are very much needed in the company as well, because they have become kind of a how do they call it, a Spock for so many things. Yeah,
and they're definitely passionate about the company as well. So that's the thing. They are not internal people, but they are passionate about the company because they've been there for so long.
Make them internal people.
Well,
so easy, huh?
That is a different kind of thing. That is also a funny thing in IT, and that's also a strategic driver that changes every so often. Do you put your resources internal or external?
I know we've been shifting from let's put everything internal to let's put everything external for good reasons. Mm-hmm. But it's a difficult one, huh? I would prefer them to be internal, honestly, because then you have all your capabilities are internal, and you know that everyone that is managing some aspect of the company is there for the company and not just for the money. Not entirely true. But
I was just gonna say, so who are you calling out right here?
No one. No, but yeah, I mean, I was a consultant before I worked here at the company, and I had less affinity with the companies I was placed in than the company I was working for, and the solutions that I proposed were also always not always from the company's perspective, but more often also from my perspective, and how can I make sure that it is easy to maintain and easy to configure. So in the end, I'm not sure that every solution deployed by externals is always in the best interest of the company itself. And in that perspective, I would prefer them to be internal. And also knowledge base and all that stuff.
I think the knowledge and the documentation, which is from, if you speak to people about this topic, is the first thing they bring up. Like, yeah, but the knowledge is external and documentation and this kind. Yeah, but if you have a good contract in place and good rules in place with these people, they need to make documentation for you. And when you say, I'm sorry, guys, this is not it for me anymore, I need another partner for this, they need to do a transfer to that other partner. It just you need to have that down in your contracts. Then when you move out, then you do. And
you need to include it in the contract then, because otherwise you're just believing them on their word.
Yes, you will have a degradation of service or support, at least, maybe not service, the moment you shift over, because there is a learning curve.
Yeah.
And that's with internal people as well. If I decide to leave the company or you decide to leave the company,
there is technical debt.
They need to get someone new. That new person needs to get
onboarded.
Needs to get on board. It needs to get his foot down. Needs to get hands on and see what's what. And you don't get that knowledge in a month. It takes a while. So it's the same for that MSP partner or that service partner that takes over. But when it comes to documentation and knowledge, you're not gonna go to a partner that doesn't know what he's talking about. That's why you have these processes of a tender and this kind of stuff.
True. And you have a team over there working for your service, and it will not be a one-man show, or at least that's what you hope.
But I do agree the commercial part of it, that is something you need to balance quite well. Because it's you can see a lot of opportunity, like commercial opportunity, when you're at a client. I remember when I was consulting, and they were talking about and we I migrated their M365 or their on-premise exchange to online, and then they were talking about we want a management tool for our autographs. So I went and I was like, I can offer you that.
And the signatures and the emails.
You have Exclaimer, not a sponsor. And
we used a tool like that at one of my other companies too, and it was garbage. I didn't like it. Was it Exclaimer? Not sure.
I'll
look it up.
I don't know. At the time, it was a really good tool. I don't know about it now. I'm talking about need to think about 6 to 7 years ago. So, and then it is I offer you this tool, but I also know we take percentage on this. I didn't get any percentage of it, so but for the company, it was a good thing to do. And I got to do the project, so for me it was nice because I had work too.
You had your job security too. Yeah, but was it the best solution for the company itself?
I don't think so. If I think back at it,
and that's what I mean. Huh?
I think I could have. Well, it was a smaller company. They definitely didn't have that many employees to go with a third-party solution. You could have just done you have this mail rule thing where you can add signatures to the end of it. So I think that was a better one, even though it had some strange behavior at the time. I don't know if it's fixed now with replying to an email, because it would attach it on the bottom.
Oh, I hope they have that fixed. Seems like a simple fix.
So that wasn't the best. But so Was it the best solution? I don't think so. I think I should have advised them to just stay with just adding your signature automatically out of the client. And I also...
I mean, the functionality is there.
Yeah, but it wasn't at the time when you send an email from mobile, but it's there now.
But in that time, were the people already using their mobiles so much for sending emails?
Yeah. You wouldn't know because you don't know how to send emails from your mobile because it's too secure now. You're back in...
That is not true. I have fixed to create a work profile on here, and I can read and send emails again. I can also read and send Teams messages again, and I can do my MFA for work.
Wow.
I don't
Look
need
at
to
him.
carry 2 phones with me anymore. But it was it was a hassle to get it working on here, because the usual ways did not work at all. So I had to
use the hacker mindset.
Find a workaround. Yep, indeed.
So the glasses are empty, Peter.
Yes, maybe we should
pull it back to the beer. Holy IPA. What did you think?
Oh yeah, we still need to do the... I need to put it in untapped, give it a rating, tell all my friends what I thought about it.
Ha.
That's a joke, I don't do that.
So this is the only social media he has right now?
Wait, is it? No, I have more social medias, but well,
so
Untapped is probably a social media that is probably stealing my data and selling my data. But frankly, if some advertisement bureau finds my data from Untapped, I would be glad, because then I don't need to find my special beers anymore. They have found it for me, and I allow them to have this data. But whether I am talking with my girlfriend about shoes for inside the house and then having Instagram tell me, hey, you should buy this shoes for inside the house, and I fall for it, I don't want that anymore.
I think your girlfriend will very much like it if you guys talk about shoes and then you get an ad to buy those shoes.
This is a real life example. It happened. She's very happy with the shoes. I can show them to you. They are in the form of, they are the paws of cats.
Nice.
So she was very happy with it. And actually, I was happy with the buy too, but then I really felt manipulated by the system. And I thought, wow, no, this cannot happen anymore. True story.
God damn it, these marketeers are making me be a good boyfriend. What's up?
Yeah. Well, you... It's give and take, huh? You don't give your data anymore, so you cannot take the good suggestions anymore.
Yeah, but you also don't get the bad ones that...
yeah, and I
or
don't
the
want
creepy
to,
feeling.
I don't want to live in this society anymore where all your data gets stolen and some dude in America is getting rich out of you. And you give them the means to manipulate you. It's getting scary out there. So this is my protest to, well, their actions.
I see.
Strong protest, huh?
I don't know. It's the one man protest. That's the that actually begs the question. Like, if you are, like, you are doing your part, right? So, do you feel content with the fact that you are doing your part on yourself as a person? But you also know that there are so many people out there
not doing
that
it,
just don't care.
Yeah.
Or don't know.
Well, somehow it frustrates me a bit, especially that they are not aware of it happening.
Mm-hmm.
And then, yeah, it frustrates me that they are not educated in that way to just know that all this is happening and what is the bad out of it. That there are a lot of people that don't care about their data being shared and stolen and sold. I know.
Do you feel like you need to advocate for it?
I am advocating for it big time. I mean, in the last 3 weeks, every friend that I saw got the story of why I bought this phone and what I'm doing with it, and how Proton is such a cool service and it does everything that Google can do. And look, my emails are secure now, but they just don't care.
So what is Proton then? Because you
Proton-
mentioned them. Let's go
Didn't
into
I
it.
mention it the last episode? I think I
I don't
did.
know if we went in detail because it was just a tag on the bottom of the
Yeah,
episode.
true. But let me put it in my beer first, because doing two things at the same time is difficult.
Right, he is still a man.
Holy
we all
IPA.
are.
I'm gonna give it a 3.5 on 5. I actually very much like it, and if I'm ever on a sunny day in the summer thirsty for a beer and this is a beer on the menu, I would like to know that I liked this beer.
Yeah, I thought it was really good as well. Definitely not an easy drinkable beer. That's also why I feel like it needs to be really, really cold. Temperature needs to be good. But yeah, taste-wise, it was nice. It was a little bit more on the more complex side, so it's not an easy drinkable beer. You need to really
sit. Not a light taste at all.
You really need to sit down, enjoy the beer. That's also why you might need it on a nice summer on a terrace.
Yeah, after you went for a walk in the park or a hike or whatever. I think this one could do nice. Let's open the next one. Do some propaganda for the next beer, and then I'll tell you all about Proton.
Nice, good. Let's do that. So the next one is, you tricked me with this one, right? So he's saying do the next one, but the next one has a funny, weird name. It's Squicure.
Squicure is how I would pronounce it too, but on the paper it says something different, so we're very much confused.
No, it's a Squisker. But
yeah, there is
the
second S.
The S is out there when we go to the description. So, but it's from brewery Illegaal, which is illegal in Belgium. I think the beer is legal.
The brewery is not illegal.
Yeah.
It's called illegal.
It's a 6.2% beer. It is a Saison farmhouse, and it has it's brewed with, how do you say spelt in English? I don't know.
Needle? No, not sure.
No, needle is quite literally something. No, it's the
just the first thing that popped to mind.
So that first beer, he took a lot. It might have been too much.
Wow.
But I think it's just the same, to be honest.
Spelt.
Yeah, it's just the same, spelt. And it is a result in a collaboration with the OCMA project. I don't know what the OCMA project is, but give me 2 seconds and a Google.
For the listeners and the rest, yes, this was a canned beer.
Yes, so please don't lynch us because it was a canned beer.
Nick's parents, please don't hate us.
It was mainly my dad. So the OSMA project, I don't find any information on it.
I think there is some special stuff to say about the brewery as well. I've heard it quite a few times now. Brewery Illegaal. There is a story, but I don't remember it, and I don't want to give false information on the podcast. So, or we look it up, or we tell it next podcast.
Do we have other beers of them, or maybe that's the thing we can?
I have this application.
Do it.
It tells you lots of.
Oh, it's from Brussels. That's nice.
Information. Yeah, of course.
But it's in French, so it will be next podcast.
Let me see if I can see something here.
So yeah, you were gonna talk about Proton.
Illegaal brewery based in Brussels. Aim is to bring together artists and brewers around a common project. Make the best beers in order to finance, produce, support, distribute artistic projects.
Nice. So probably the OSMA project is an artistic project then.
It could very well be, yeah.
So
I don't know it.
I'll have a taste. Color-wise,
Looks like a normal beer with not
I w-
so much foam.
I was gonna say an amber, but yeah, but that can also be your dirty glasses. So
I washed them. Seriously. No, I mean, honestly, it looks like it's my Jupiler beer, but it's been sitting in the glass for 10 minutes and the foam is completely out. I hope the brewery is not listening.
I hope the brewer is listening because I really like the taste.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't? It's a different taste, but
Yeah,
I expected it.
It is a completely different taste, and this is the downside of doing multiple special beers in one episode, because the first one, the Holy IPA, was a very strong taste, very complex, and I feel this is maybe
A little bit more flat.
yes, flat.
I do have the same, but you do see that it's brewed with a different grain, or you do taste it. Like it's not what you would usually expect from a beer.
No, indeed, that's true.
Like that gives it a little bit more character, but when it comes to like flavors, or when it comes to like general flavors, like you would have more a fruity or a citrusy or some kind of tones. It's quite flat, but definitely not a bad beer.
I think I went to a bar a few weeks ago in Brussels that sold this beer because the can is really familiar
But
somehow.
You have a lot of those local Brussels breweries.
Yeah, I love them. They're awesome.
That have really nice artwork on the cans. You have the Brussels Brewery Project, which is one of them.
Brussels Beer Project?
Brussels Beer Project, yeah, sorry. Those are a little bit more known around Belgium.
Yep.
But you have some really good ones. Actually, we have a colleague that
is
also
very
brews.
much involved in brewing a special beer. We will bring it next time on a podcast and then talk all about it. And maybe
And we
because the
should
dude is
even
also in
invite
IT,
him,
yes, he could be
he is
potential guest.
Definitely a Gyra Atlassian fan.
He's an agile evangelist. He
Yes.
is all about Scrum and Kanban and doing your projects and development in an agile way.
I think that would be a fun guest to have. So
Oh yeah.
we should make that work, and then he can bring us the beer.
Oh, but then be prepared for a very long episode. Which one do you want to talk about first, dude? So, Proton.
Yes.
Proton is like it's a whole ecosystem of everything that Google is providing to us as well. But Proton was made by a few dudes from Switzerland. It's a Swiss company, so I mean, can you be more neutral? Those guys are awesome. They started the company with everything has to be private. We need to make privacy a thing again, and they incorporated end-to-end encryption in all their tools, and they have special features in all their tools. It's amazing. For example, emails, it's Proton Mail. It does everything that Google Mail does too. But it works in a way that all the images that you load in from your email, they are being proxied through Proton. So the sender of the email, when you open it and the photo would be hosted on their servers, the moment that you open the email, they will not see your IP address. So it is going against the tracking in emails. They also they inspect all your emails, and they see they have a very good algorithm to seeing if something is spam or not. And they have an auto button to unsubscribe. I know it's in the email too, but usually you need to search for it. In Proton Mail, there is a big ass button, unsubscribe, and it will click the button for you, fill in the needed details if they ask, and it just works. And besides that, your emails are private. Again, Google cannot read them. No other service can read them. It is end-to-end encrypted for you.
Their servers can read it.
No, because it's end-to-end encryption. It is stored on their servers, but they don't have the keys to read it because it is my password that encrypts.
Okay.
It's an interesting way that it works, but they should, if we believe them, but frankly I do, they should not be able to read your emails. And then I think Proton Mail was the first product that they came up with. I've been using it for many, many years for my, let's just be honest, for my hacker handle and all my hackery stuff. Everything that I did in that persona was already being done through Proton Mail. Now my normal email is too.
It's a white hat
hacking, of course.
I need to make that distinction, I feel.
They also have now Proton Calendar, which is like the Google Calendar, but your calendar is private again. We all want it. Yes, we do. I love it. It just works. And they have a really easy onboarding mechanism. You can just onboard your Google Calendar or your Outlook calendar with a few clicks. And from there on, just use your Proton Calendar. And then besides it, I also use the Proton VPN, which is always on. All my other connections are being blocked, which is cool. Not cool for statistics and reporting, because now on the podcast we have listeners from all over the world, but it's just me.
I think it's cool.
And they also have Proton Drive, which is, you guessed it, the equivalent of Google Drive or OneDrive. And also this one is, again, end-to-end encrypted, everything. And it's awesome. And they recently created another product and published it for everyone to use, and it's Proton Wallet. I've not started using it, but apparently, it could be a safe place to store your Bitcoin wallets, Bitcoin coins.
Okay.
And they also have a password manager, but that I don't use because we have a very respectable one from the company. But the password manager has some cool features too. It can hide your email. It can, when you set up an account at a new website and you need to register one, because if you also use the Proton Mail, it knows your email. It can create an alias for your email, register yourself on the website, and the website will never know your real email. But because it is an alias of your Proton Mail, it will still end up in your mailbox.
Yeah, that's a feature that iOS and Apple also supports already.
And that's an interesting answer, because indeed Apple has also the whole ecosystem, and they are also very high on the privacy list. They tell their audience that they care about privacy.
I can vouch for that. Like, I've been an Apple user for a couple of years now. I used to be very against it just because it's the whole ecosystem story, and I felt like I was going to be restricted in my use, and if I wanted to break out of the system, I couldn't anymore. But I signed in, kind of got dragged into it a little bit, but now I'm convinced.
Was it a girl?
Yes.
We are so simple creatures. But now you're convinced.
Yeah, I am. I'm bought in. The only thing I will never, or I have had, but I will not really do again, is getting a MacBook. I think that's also a little bit of a protest action, being from coming from a device in an MDM world. Managing an Apple is a pain. But why is it a pain? Because control and security wise, Apple puts in a lot of restrictions for you to come in with another agent to manage this device.
Indeed. You want to hear a secret?
Sure.
I'm actually thinking about, once I have the money, of maybe buying a MacBook once.
You've been
indeed.
hanging around with the wrong people.
But have you seen those devices? God damn it! It's just sexy. I have no other words for it. The hardware looks very cool. The screen is so much better than the Windows that we're used to, and it's I don't know. I kind of want to play around on it. I know. I am disgusted by myself.
Well done, Steve Jobs. Because the words that I just heard out his mouth was, they look sexy, the screen is nice, but I haven't heard anything about the specifics of the laptop, how it runs. And that's that's the design philosophy that Steve Jobs took on. Like, it needs to look good. And that's what people need to talk about. But I will tell you, and that is one of the reasons why I think Apple is also really good at what they do. They handpick the hardware to work together on the best way possible. That's the reason why they went away and developed their own CPUs for mobile, for the laptops, because they could control how it would work all together. And I think that is great, because I remember I had only one MacBook Pro, I think 2011, so that is about 14 years ago. And it had the last gen Intel processor in it, not because they didn't want to or whatever, but because that would make the system run optimally. Because if they would have put the latest gen version in it, it would conflict with other things.
Oh wow! Yeah.
And I think that's great. That's
Yes, indeed. Well done to Steve Jobs, but the man was he was kind of one of a kind, huh?
We have a couple of that in the tech industry. Some are a little bit less proud on currently than others, but
we're not gonna name them. No.
So I was gonna dive into the political discussion.
But I don't know anything about the politics anymore.
You're not up to date. So no, let's scratch that. It was also tech.
I've been briefly updated last Friday and during the weekend, but I'm not up to date at all. So no.
Well, maybe another thing. We have touched it because we were surprised that it took us a while. What do you think about the AI that got how is it called? Damn it! The Chinese AI.
DeepSeek.
I was Deepface, but that wasn't
Nope.
it. So that's another. That's Russian. The face thing that was Deepface. Doesn't matter.
I have no idea what you're talking about now.
Deep search.
DeepSeek.
Same thing. How do you feel about it? What was your reaction when that came out and it's been trained on this less resources, this less time?
And that is a very cool aspect. And I still need to do a technical deep dive in how it worked. How did they train it? And what kind of under the hood stuff is it using to produce the answers and run? And I also learned that this DeepSeek model you can run locally. You don't need to use their servers, but you can pull the model offline, pull it on your hardware and make it run. So I still need to play with it, but I'm very interested in it. I know that on the day that it was published that everyone can start using DeepSeek, I tried to register my account on it and test it, and it says you cannot register your account right now. We are under a DDoS attack or a cyber attack. Please come again later. So I was like, ok.
Interesting.
So the next day I tried again and I could register my account, and I did. And then I went to the chat and I typed in hello, enter. And my mouse was thinking for I think 5 minutes or so. And then it says, we cannot properly handle your request. We are we are currently under a cyber attack. Please come again later. So I think it took 2 days, and then finally I got an answer out of the model, which was decent enough. But I was not perplexed by the answer or anything. Also, maybe important to note, I am a paying user for ChatGPT, so I already have quite an advanced model that is capable of doing quite advanced stuff.
I was just gonna segue into that. As an early adopter of ChatGPT, like, do you feel like in the early stages of ChatGPT and now DeepSeek, oh my god, do you feel like it has the same pain points? Do you feel like they are ahead?
Well, it depends on what model I would compare it to. But if I compare it to the GPT-4, I think is the generally available model. I think it's a good competitor, the DeepSeek. And then it's all a matter of who do you trust more as Europeans then, huh? Do we want all our data going to Sam Altman and America, or do we trust it with China?
Maybe we need a European to step up and...
That's a good comment. And I heard something funny a couple of weeks ago about the three world powers, that America are the innovators, China are the copiers, and we Europeans, we are the regulators.
Okay, how do you agree with that statement? Because I have a feeling...
It is very much true. America comes up with something new, it works, it's shiny, it's cool, everyone wants to use it, so we are all using it. And then China is like, oh, that is indeed cool, let's copy it, make it our own, and just do it also, do it the same, but for lower prices or lower resources or whatever. And then in Europe, we are just... Yeah, but is it compliant? What are you doing with our data? Do we need to set maybe a set of rules in place to make sure that everything is still legal and all that stuff? And while I am very much behind that point of view and that approach, it also slows us down in innovation.
I do agree with the statement you make about Europe. I am not sure about I'll make it Asia and not China specifically. I don't know about the China-US relationship. I think that is a little bit of another way. Like I think that can be both. I think China can also make it an innovation, and America just building upon that. I don't know. I should go and deep dive this for actually examples, but I also think that might be how the media is portrayed here, that we know more about what happens in America than we do in China.
Oh, that's an interesting pick indeed, and that is very much true, because all our media and sources are American.
Are American, it's just the fact that if you are a journalist in Europe, you are way more likely to speak English than you would speak Chinese.
Yeah. Indeed,
or
America has the language advantage there, and that is why they are, from our perspective, they are the innovators, and China are the ones that copy.
From your perspective, I am cleaning my hands on this one.
Oh yeah, because you're talking Chinese now, huh?
No. My Chinese is limited.
But indeed, yeah. And, well, sometimes I think that's a pity of Europe, that we're always lacking behind. But then on the other hand, I mean, I really stand behind our approach. This is very much needed. GDPR, end-to-end encryption, it would all not be a thing if we were not Europe, if we were not the way we are.
Well, I think that is maybe even a little bit more a little bit even too far. I had a funny conversation about this. I don't know if it was with you or with one of my parents, but it was about the USB-C being the only acceptable charging port or acceptable cable port in Europe. So Europe standardized on USB-C as the only, how they say it, so it's the only cable you need.
Oh yeah,
to charge your devices or access your devices. And I know it was a big thing because Apple had the Lightning connector.
Yeah, indeed.
And Europe was like, yeah, no, that's not gonna.
This is not gonna
The-
be it. Nope.
The product doesn't
Uh-huh.
enter anymore if it doesn't comply.
Compliance.
Yeah, and then Apple had to go in and say like, okay, then we need to change, but then we will change it for everybody because we're not gonna make 2 separate products or 3 separate products
Oh,
for
yeah,
different
yeah.
regions. So I think that is very interesting how you say that America or China that live in the middle are the innovators, we are the regulators, but still we exercise some kind of power because we are still a big region with a lot of buying power to comply even big American corporations to our standards because we put it like that.
Yeah, but that change was not an innovation for us. I mean, it's a very nice to have now for everyone because let's be honest, with the USB-C charger, you can now do so much, but the USB-C on itself was not an innovation.
Funny side note: when the European Union announced the ruling, they put online a picture on LinkedIn with a thing of it was like the drawer with all the cables, you know, you save up because I might need this connection once, and then they put one cable and that was supposed to be USB-C, but it was actually USB-B.
No.
So I think the marketing guy had like an aneurysm at that time, but they changed it in about an hour. They catched it quite
Damn
quickly.
It. That's a cool one. Do you think you can still find that picture?
I don't know.
I want to see it.
I
Please
don't
link
know.
it in the podcast if you can.
I will have a look
That's
for it,
golden.
but it was the wrong.
The only key cable you will need. Jokes. Yeah, but I very much like the change because now, I mean, not right now because my iPads at home are still using the lightning cable, but in the future, one cable for everything. And I have bought a lot of cables recently from China, maybe, but all USB-C cables, and they can just do everything in my home now, and it's amazing. It's cool.
I think that's the nice part about it, you know. Like I remember when in the car, you know, now it's also another thing because most cars now have the wireless connection with CarPlay or
Android Auto.
Android Auto. But in the past, I know, like I had an Android. My girlfriend at the time had an iPhone, and then we needed 2 cables in the car because I had USB-C and she had Lightning. Now she's the one that turned me on the Apple. Maybe that's also why. But now with the new Apple phones, you just need a USB-C, and if you have an Android, you can also plug it in. No issue.
That's awesome.
It's not like that you need to your iPhone is low and you need to go around like, does anybody have an iPhone charger?
Exactly. How many times in the past when I had friends with iPhones and they came asking, do you have an iPhone charger? No, I don't. I live in an Android house, you moron. Oops. But like even for laptops, it is all USB-C now, and it's amazing. I mean, I can show you on my attic. I have a box full of laptop chargers, all different kinds and breeds and types and sizes. Just in the rare occasion that somebody would enter here and be like, "Do you have a charger for my laptop?" I kept all my chargers, always, of all my previous laptops. It's a box. It's crazy big, and it's just filled.
It's the first box that if you move in with the girlfriend, that's gonna go.
Oh, she's gonna say, nope, that's not gonna come in. And I would be like, but baby, please. And I would end up with the box just yeeting out of the place. It's true. It's super true.
It has so much sentimental value. All the history.
It's sentimental. Yeah. Nick, I think we're going a bit over time on this episode.
Yeah, we're
and we
a
still
little
have
bit late.
one beer to drink.
So now we need to decide: do we stop at 2 or we crack at 3rd?
At what time are we now?
We are now at 64 minutes, so an hour and 4 minutes.
Poof. Yeah, this is our usual time to stop.
Yes.
I also heard from some people as a feedback that they think that the podcast is sometimes too long to hear in one sitting.
Yeah.
And I understand that it's more easily digestible if it's shorter. But on the other hand, I also like the conversation that is going on. So
I definitely do so too, but I think we might need to just shut it down. We will save the mystery third beer.
Damn it! Sorry, audience. I tried, but
He tried for the audience, he says. So I think we should shut it down. This was an episode about everything and nothing.
Yeah, indeed.
We talked about Proton. We talked about Deep Seek.
And now you got it
Got
right.
it now.
Awesome.
We talked about
What did we start with?
IT maturity, security maturity.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
We talked about how Europe seems to be the regulator of the world when it comes to IT stuff. And yeah, we'll keep it in the middle. Who is the innovator? And Peter's cats are hungry or want to go outside.
Let me tell you, they pretend to want to go outside because then you get up, you give them attention, and they are like, nice, you're up, you're looking at me. I actually want food.
They are real cats.
They are real cats, but sometimes they're tigers and cuties. So,
but
all right.
On that note, we will end the podcast. This was our
seventh episode.
Yeah.
Indeed. Thank you very much for listening.
See you next month.
Yeah.
Yeah.